people in Beloit that go and do things tend to be able to go the whole way. You know, whether it's a wonderful young lady who graduated from Beloit Memorial High School and had the lead in Miss Saigon when it opened in New York City, to a variety of others. And they might be just people who work on my car, there might be people who do other things, but they're all people who have a mission in life, and I think they were enriched by their time at Beloit Memorial High School.
The Beloit school system does a tremendous job, I think, in getting students ready to go out and perform. When I walked into the University of Iowa, there was not one day, not one point in time where I ever felt that I was behind in any subject. And I attribute that to obviously the faculty and the curriculum here at Beloit Memorial.
Obviously stress comes with the first year of college, but I feel like I had, you know, the tools and the ability to deal with that stress. I had a lot of time management, and I really learned that from here.
Throughout my schooling here in Beloit, I was able to attribute a lot of my success to teachers I had through elementary through high school.
I actually came back to Beloit Memorial to see if I could buy one of the old AP English textbook that we used. They're still using it because I loved it so much.
I go to a school where a lot of kids are from expensive private schools, and I feel right at home in college. I don't feel like I was at a disadvantage, you know. Going to a large public school, I feel like in many ways I was afforded many better opportunities than them.
I had a young man go to Michigan State, and after 4 years with a degree at Michigan State, he told me my class was still the most difficult class he'd ever taken. But as a result, I think, of the rigor, 80% of my kids got 3 or above in the exam, with tremendous numbers of 5, which is the highest you can get, of course. And it just shows that, you know what, you push kids and they're going to respond.
Mr. Lupkin, he's one of my, I call him my lighthouse, because he was always like a lighthouse for me. He always stood there and supported me and pushed me, and you know, he thought that I could be somebody.
I think one of the most useful classes I took, though, in high school that prepared me for college was typing, because you know, it was a class designed for people who were going to go into administrative work, but I knew that I was going to college, and I knew that I was going into a discipline that was going to require me to write a lot of papers, and I knew I needed to do that on either a typewriter back then or later, you know, on computers. And I was far ahead of my peers because I knew how to type.
I had to get used to my time management and organization and just kind of change a little bit the way I would go about things. And I continued taking the advanced placement classes, and I just think that the way they're set up and the teachers and all the assignments and everything we did, it really did actually help me prepare to go off to school and the classes that I took.
You can essentially walk into what is a comprehensive high school here, and you can walk out with skills that are related to technical education all the way to you can leave here with literally having a year of college complete before you even get there.
When I went to college and you interacted with people from rural areas that didn't have that level of diversity, they perhaps weren't as prepared to interact at the college level or perhaps in the workplace. I just always took it for granted. It really wasn't a big deal.
In the world in general, it's not going to be just one set group of people or one economic status in one group anywhere that you work. So it's really important to get to know everybody and be able to work with each other, whether as students or have them as teachers or things like that in Beloit. And we had that diversity in Beloit. So when I left, I felt like I had an upper edge on everybody else who came from maybe smaller towns or who didn't come from a diverse high school or community like Beloit was.
Everybody was everywhere. In the halls, after school, at the basketball games, at the hockey games, and it was so much fun, and I didn't realize how diverse it really was until I went away to school in Des Moines.
Diversity in Beloit is interesting because it's like a melting pot. There were a lot of folks, black and white, worked together at Fairbanks, General Motors, most of the locations around here, they employed individuals from all walks of life. And we learned to get along with everybody. You know, I remember, you know, a couple of our friends lived around the corner. We never classified friends as black or white. They were just friends. Sam Eddy was a friend of mine that from the time I walked into Beloit school system here as a 4th grader, he and I have been friends today. And I think that's unique because of the fact that we do learn to get along with one another. It doesn't mean we didn't have some problems and battles here along the way, particularly in the explosive 60s, but nevertheless, it's still a lot of fun.
And the diversity factor here is twofold. You walk out of here and you have had the opportunity to interact with lots of different people, but at the same time, you have the opportunity to carry on those friendships throughout life because it wasn't a polarizing experience. So I think you're very well prepared for the larger world. In fact, I can recall leaving and going to college at UW-Madison, and my first reaction was, where's the diversity? And so it was a very unusual experience to realize that this university campus of 40,000 strong is not that diverse. So it was a very good experience being a student here.
When I was in college, at Marquette University, I applied to be the diversity coordinator. Who does that? But rather somebody who grew up in a diverse environment, who didn't see it in their university and wanted to see it, more of it.
Clubs and organizations, I think there were like 50 plus some clubs, and I found my freshman year that there wasn't a specific club pertaining to environmental awareness and sustainability. So I went on and with a group of friends founded that on our own. So that opportunity was there for anybody. There were teachers that were just willing to support us and administration. So when we found that maybe there was a gap in opportunity at the high school level, we just created our own. And that kind of thing, that's not just a unique story. That kind of thing happened quite often.
But I think it helps build you as a round individual if you're involved in some sort of extracurricular. It doesn't have to be sports, it could be drama, it could be choir, it could be something, but I think that's a value to a high school experience because you can get involved in a lot of different activities. I think more people should take advantage of that.
I look at some of the other schools in the area who have been forced to cut sports, to cut activities and extracurriculars. We've been adding them. So, it's kind of how can you have a comprehensive high school but you cut girls tennis? Or how can you have a comprehensive high school but you really don't have a student government in place? We have about 3 layers of student government with Senate, class officers, and student advisory, and they all have their various roles. But there is no reason that a student can come here for 4 years and not be involved in something. There really is something for everyone in this building.
It was always pushed, whether it was our teachers getting us involved in doing some volunteer efforts, our coaches. I remember giving free swim lessons to very young children because of my swim coach who got me into that, and lifeguarding for disabled students, things like that.
You never know what giving maybe a 5-10 minutes of your time would do to somebody else. I mean, it just makes a huge difference.
We'd bundle up and we'd all pack in one car, as many people as we could fit, probably not legal, and we'd huddle together and we would go ring bells at Christmas time. And as we know, Christmas, winter in Wisconsin is not the most pleasant thing, but we would do it every year and we would go ring bells.
My friends that I had at Burge Elementary School are still my friends today.
I always say I'm from Beloit and couldn't be prouder. And if you don't believe me, I'll yell a little louder.
Because of that freedom to express myself and find acceptance from my peers, from the staff, the teachers, and the community, it was for all those reasons that my husband and I decided to send our own son through Beloit School.
And we were more than just students and people that were together at school. We were friends and family.
It's not about cliques. It's not about who a certain person is. It's really who is that person. And when you find out, you see there's so many wonderful people who make up this great city of Beloit.
I always felt really proud to be from Beloit because it was diverse, and I felt that not most of the students represented didn't have that experience. And here I was kind of from an amazing place. I don't think Beloit is very common.
I'm not originally from Beloit. I'm actually from Chicago, and I lived part of my youth in Mexico. I came here when I was probably like 9 years old. And since then, I mean, I adopted this town as my town, you know, my place. This is me, you know. I'm a Beloiter now.
Thank you, Beloit.
Thank you, Beloit.
Thank you, Beloit.
Thank you, Beloit.
Thanks, Beloit.
Thank you, 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 Beloit.